Good morning. Today we are moving on with our math. We are working on PO2. Yesterday we talked about those integers and the opposites and the absolute values. Today we are working with those and adding or subtracting those integers. So, things that we need to know. In addition, when we add numbers, we are always moving, moving to the right on a number line. So when we're adding, we're always going to the right. I like to do a little thing like this where I do adding. I know I move to the right. When we're subtracting, which way do you think we move on the number line? To the left. So subtraction is moving to the left on a number line. So when we subtract, we go to the left. So putting the arrows sometimes helps us. If you're like one of my kids, sometimes you always have to go, okay, which way's to the left? Okay, that's the L, I need to go this. Just do the arrows. It helps you remember left and right. Which way do I jump on that number line? Adding or subtracting negative integers can lead to many mistakes. The key is to not go too fast. Slow yourself down. Make sure you're looking at that number line correctly. Really think, where am I starting on the number line? And which direction is the operation telling me to go? So we're going to make a number line that you can use. In the middle, we're going to put our 0. I'm going to skip count by 5s. I know it's positives going to the right, negatives going to the left. I'm going to put the little arrows on the number line because I remember that the number lines continue on. So I'm going to think about which direction I'm going on that number line. So I'm going to always look at those arrows. Which way am I going to go? So we're going to add or subtract these numbers. Use the number line above to help you visualize that you're going the right direction. Check your answer by using an arrow to indicate which direction on the number line you went. So our first one is 7 plus 3. So our 7's here. So if you need to make the little notches, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, to help you with your jumping, you can. Our first one's an easy one. That's regular math. We've been adding 7 plus 3 for years, right? So we start off with that easy one. You start at 7, and you jump 1, 2, 3. So we end at the 10. I went to the right on the number line because I was adding. Next I have 19, so I'm going to put my little 16, 17, 18, 19. So I'm starting at 19. I'm subtracting 12, so I jump over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 19 minus 12, I land at the 7, and I went to the left. So the first two, easy peasy, adding and subtracting positive numbers, we got that. Now, our next one is a -3. So I need to go to -3, which would be right here, and I want to add 6. So which direction am I going to go? To the left or to the right? Vinny? Or sorry, Matt?
To the right.
To the right. So I'm gonna go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I end at a positive 3. So using that number line really helps you see, working with those negative numbers, where you're going to end up. So use that number line, put the arrow so you make sure you know which direction you're going. Does that make sense? This next one, 16 minus 18, some of us are going to automatically say 2. Because we know 18 minus 16 is 2. Presley's shaking his head no. Why would that be wrong, Presley? Ah, but now we're in big kid math. We actually can. What does our answer become? Jackson? Negative 2. Because when we're at 16, if we go back 18, we actually end up at negative 2. So it seems like it's something we can't do, so our brain will automatically just say, oh, 18 minus 16 is 2, but we don't start at 18. We always start at our first number. That's where you look at on the number line. We're going to look at that 16. So looking at that number line, hop yourself back 18 places, and you'll see that we end up at that negative 2. So we do work with negative numbers for our answers now. It's different than the math we've had before. That's why we say, take your time. Do not go too fast. All right? Use the number line. Make sure you're going the correct direction on the number line. Draw the arrow to show I was subtracting, so I went to the left. Use the number line. I say this every year. And I emphasize it every year. I say, draw the number line, use the number line. And then I have friends that say, now I can do it in my head. It's all good. And then they get them wrong because we're not used to working with those negative numbers. Use your number line. It will help you. Let's look at our second. First, do we have any questions on this page? So on our second page, let's turn those pages. We're going to be doing the same thing, but it's a word problem. Don't let those words overwhelm you. We're doing the same thing. We're adding and subtracting, sometimes going into those negative numbers. You can use that number line. You can take that first page out, turn it over so you can use that same number line. You can draw a new number line. Let's look at our first word problem. You log on to your online bank account and track your activity over the weekend. You started with $15, you spent $8, deposited $2, spent $14, spent $3, deposited $19, and spent $4. How much is in your bank account? And luckily, none of those transactions have officially gone through yet, so you don't get any penalties for those negative numbers that you might go into. So we have to ask ourselves, when am I adding and when am I subtracting? Which of these words would tell me to add? Jack? Deposit. So whenever you see deposit, you're going to add that. So I would just go in and I would put an add whenever I see deposit. So if I'm spending it, what math operation am I doing? Claire? Subtracting. So I start with 15 and I spent $8. So I'm going to subtract 8. What's 15 minus 8? Joy? 7. So now I'm at 7 and I deposit $2. What's 7 plus 2? Matt? 9. So now I have 9 and I spend 14. Oh goodness. 9 minus 14. Rusley was saying before, you can't take 14 away from 9. So that means I'm gonna go into negative numbers. So I can use that number line. What negative number am I gonna go to, Rhoda?
5, -5.
-5. So now I start with -5, and I spend 3. So if I start on on that number line at -5, and I subtract 3. So if I'm on the number line at -5, remember adding, I go to the right, subtracting, I go to the left. So I'm subtracting 3. What am I gonna end at? Michael? -8. So now I'm at -8, and I deposit $19. So if I'm at -8, I'm going to add 19 to it. So again, you're gonna wanna use that number line, because we're at the negative, and we're adding a really big positive. Where would we end up at? -8, adding 19. So you're gonna start at -8 on that number line, and jump to the right 19 spots. Shantrea, what do you think I'm gonna get? Okay. So one way to look at it, if I'm at -8, I know it's 8 hops to get to the 0, right? So 19 minus 8 is 11. That means I have 11 hops left. What am I gonna end at? A positive 11. So then I'm at that positive 11, and I spend 4. Back to the easier math. What's 11 minus 4? Alex? 7. So I am left with $7 in my bank account. So when we do these word problems, sometimes there are multiple steps. You do one step at a time, okay? I'm gonna have you work through these word problems. At the bottom, it says, write an expression. So let's look at what writing an expression means. Write an expression using addition or subtraction that has a solution of 9. So that means you need to write something that is going to equal 9. What would be an expression? You can use negative numbers, you cannot use negative numbers. It's your choice. Any expression, as long as the solution will be 9. What might be an example, Vinny?
6 plus 3 equals 9.
Yeah. Does anybody have one that does use negative numbers? What do you think, Rhoda?
-18 plus. -18 plus 6.
I'm gonna help you out with that one. You jumped to a really big number, so we have to, if it's a really big negative, we have to have a really, really big positive to get to that right side of the number line. You could have done -1 plus 10. That would end up at that 9. Do you have to work with negative numbers? Nope. It doesn't say that in the directions. Okay. So read what kind of example you have to give. Here we're working with negatives, and here we're working with negatives. If you want to try to challenge yourself, you can. Is it going to be the end of the world if we do it incorrectly? No, because we'll learn from it. Tomorrow when we correct, we'll learn from our mistakes so we can do it correct when it comes time for the test. Any questions on today's assignment? We've got the first page and the second page. Okay, so go back, make sure you work on that first page. Don't just work on the second page here. Go back to the first page so we don't forget it. We've got a little bit of work time before it is time for math. I don't want you using calculators on this one, because I want you understanding how that number line works. Okay, so use the number line on this one. Sometimes there's a box that says no calculator, but this one, we're really working on understanding our number line. So start at -12 on the number line, and then we're adding. So are we going to go to the left or to the right? So start at -12 and jump over 7 and see where you end up. Go quick, so we're going to get switching soon. Oh, and I forgot to stop the recording.